Hello and welcome. Lauren Daly here again. Today I have Becca to share her story with us, and I'm excited for her to talk about how long her journey took and how much it cost because those numbers are very low because she's very motivated. So let's dive in and talk about what kind of student you were in high school.
Well, as a high school student, I would say that I was very much a B average, A, maybe A minus average. So I wasn't somebody who was an underachiever, but I wasn't an overachiever either. I'm fortunate that I was very good at taking tests. So I was able to skate by with my good test grades and not really have to worry so much about the homework grades. So that helped me, kind of set me up, I guess, for success later.
Good. Taking tests is definitely a huge skill. Funny because you ended up at UMPI with no tests, but we'll come back to
I
that
know.
later. So you got done with high school and were you thinking about college or you went straight to the workforce? What happened then?
So I did go to college straight out of high school, started working on just getting prerequisites for a program where I could work with zoo animals. And so I did get associates in exotic animal training and management.
That's very cool. That's a rare one.
Very specialized, only like two schools in the country that offer that. And it was a lottery system to get in. So it
Oh,
was
wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, so I had to work pretty hard to get into the program. And then after that, there wasn't a lot of options for me to do any kind of bachelor's program with it. So I kind of went straight into the work field after that point and always felt like there was something missing, to get that bachelor's degree.
So it was always an intrinsic goal that you had. Did you have a specific job that maybe required a bachelor's, or was it more just like, I want to finish this thing that I started?
I think in the back of my mind, my dream was to go and work back at the college,
Oh,
community college that had that zoo program that did require me to have a bachelor's degree.
nice. Okay, cool. So you finished the associates. How, in that experience with the associates, how did that go? Did you like how the classes were structured? Did you wish that they were online, or was it just like a good experience and you didn't really know there was another way to do it?
It's very hands-on. So there's actually a real zoo on the campus. So you are required to be there day in, day out, holidays, summer vacation, winter, spring breaks, all of that. You were there taking care of those animals, training them, working with them, caring for them. So we didn't really have any options for online or any kind of remote schooling. So,
Okay.
and because of that, I felt like I really enjoyed that hands-on aspect. And I don't think I could have learned as much as I did without having that.
Okay, so you got the hands-on part of it, and then you thought to yourself, okay, time to complete my bachelor's degree. How much of a gap between completing your associates and going back to school?
Yeah, a really long gap. So I graduated in 2010 from that associate's program, and then I didn't go back to school until 2024 for my bachelor's degree. So we were
Was
looking at
it?
a 14-year gap between.
Yes, a 14-year gap. Was it intimidating looking at coming back to school when everything had sort of transitioned to being online, or what were your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I wasn't sure how I was going to handle it. And I also was working full time. I'm a mom of three. I just wasn't sure if I was going to be able to hack it, to be honest, because it's been so long since I've been in school and I just felt like I was really out of touch. And then being the older lady in the group, I wasn't sure. So I was surprised though, when I decided to go with College Hacked and I had my consultation with you, I was really hesitant to do UMPI knowing that it was going to be all written papers. I was never the best at writing papers.
Mm.
But to my surprise, they were very helpful and helped me to format all of my papers how they wanted them to be, and I was able to get basically all A's in all of my classes. So I had the highest honors for it. So
Yay, yes. Give us so you did the liberal studies management degree and you got a 4.0 and you started on what, September 4th, I think?
I think I started September 2nd and I ended December 2nd. And
Yes.
I actually ended the term early, which was perfect because then, I was able to celebrate Christmas time without having to do homework. My goal was actually to try to get it done in the one term and not in the two terms. But it was much harder to try to finish that when I was working full time because I would only do my schoolwork on the weekends. So
Oh my goodness. With three daughters that you're juggling too. Amazing.
yeah, so it was, I mean, honestly, though, anybody could do it. If you can take the time to just, create yourself a good outline, you're able to review the information. And the professors were really helpful in, making corrections so that I could reach that 4.0 goal.
Nice. What would you recommend as maybe tips for things that helped you accelerate? Because lots of people try this, but a lot of people don't get done in, just 2 terms. So with your busy schedule, what are some things that you feel like really made a difference for you?
What I actually did is I created a OneNote through Microsoft and I copied all of the material from my classes into it so that at any point I could easily review it and it was searchable, and so that I could pick out kind of the areas that I wanted to utilize for all my reports and stuff. So that really helped me a lot, and it just made it easier to go back and review the information. Also, just kind of submitting the information to the professors ahead of time so that they could review it. And they gave me really good feedback and basically told me exactly what I needed to put in there to get an A on that test. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Awesome. When they give you that pre-feedback, do they give you like numerical scores on things, or do they just give you generalized feedback about, include this type of information or?
Yeah, so they would give me numerical scores. So, if I felt like, oh, I scored a B on that one, then I knew that I needed to work a little bit harder, or I just needed to incorporate their information in. If I felt like I didn't get enough information from the professor, I usually just, emailed back to get clarification or ask if they had any specifics for me. And then usually they would come back and give me more specific information. But, of course, some of them are like, ready to submit, go ahead. And, you're like, okay, good. I can just let go. But at other times, there was definitely some of the professors that made me really work for it, which I was appreciative of, because some of those classes I would have never taken and would have had no interest in. But once, I obtained the information from it, I feel like it's applicable in everyday life.
That's so awesome. So I know that when you graduated, you sent me an email and you said, I graduated, now I want to talk about graduate programs. So tell me, I know we're about to have this conversation. After this, we'll have a little session to talk about grad programs, but what is kind of your thought about the future, or how does maybe your bachelor's degree experience change what maybe you thought was possible for the future?
Well, shortly after I got my bachelor's degree, I applied for a position at Moorpark College that teaches the exotic animal training and management program. And I got a position there.
Congratulations. That's so cool.
I was very excited. I started in January there, which has just been a dream come true, really. I also previous had my veterinary nursing license, so I am working there as their registered veterinary technician. They had an opening for a instructor position, part-time instructor position, which I also got, and I will be starting in the fall. So
Wow.
very excited for that. And really, I wanted to expand my skills that I, acquired from UMPI, and actually maybe change gears a bit and do something in education to better prepare me for that. But also, I'm thinking of maybe trying to find something like that full time with that program. So being that it's at a college, I think that my chances of getting that kind of position are greater if I have a master's degree, and not to mention I get paid more too for having that.
Really? Wow, that's incredible. You started this whole journey with this idea of what you might do in the future, and then it all happened within like what, a year or less? It's basically, yeah, it's less than a year.
Yeah, and I just really thought it would never happen. I thought, I'm too old. I can't go back and do school, or it's way too expensive. And I, like, by some miracle, I happened to find you guys, and I was like, this is possible and I can afford it. There's no way. Like, I have to do this.
Wow, that is so awesome. I can't even, that timeline is just incredible. I love that you went through that process that most people go through at the start of this, where you thought, can I hack it? Is it really something that I can do? Is it a doable thing cost-wise? All the different things that you run into when you decide to chase a dream that you have. And because you were brave enough to go for it, your dream became a reality in less than a year. You put in the hard work and made it happen, and you're where you wanted to be. That's so cool.
It is so cool. I'm just so fortunate to have found you guys, because I'm not sure that without all your little tidbits of how to get around certain things and, how to make it a reality financially, that it would have happened for me.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your story. It's been amazing to hear how quick everything went for you. I mean, we sat down, made a plan, you went for the plan, and before I knew it, I had an email saying that you had graduated and were ready for a master's program. So congratulations from all of us to you, and thanks for taking the time. Any last minute advice that you might give to somebody who is in your position, just kind of wondering if college is doable for them?
Of course, I was on the fence to start with. And I was really thinking, oh, like, is it worth it for me to do the consultation? Can I just look it up online to try to find, those little hack around, to hack myself by looking at Reddit and other things? And honestly, you guys were able to make it so concise for me and so easy. And you guys were so personable. And I felt like you guys just kind of treated me like family a little bit, like a college hack family. And so I think because of that, I felt so comfortable and it was so worth it. And all the time that you took writing emails back and forth with me or even if I ran into some hiccups with, what they were going to accept as far as my credits, you were like, oh, you just need to email this person and let me give you this information. And then sure enough, they took care of it for me. So I think without that, it would have been a much slower process. And I think that I would have also just been a little bit more discouraged and not been able to meet my goals and completing it in the timeline that I did.
I don't think I could have written you a better script for how to compliment me. So thank you.
I'm not being paid for this, but I'm just kidding.
You're not. Maybe you should be. Wow, that was awesome. Well, good. I'm so glad to hear that, we were able to simplify everything and make it so that the coursework is really the thing that you were focused on and all the other things were not something that you had to worry about individually. So that's great. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you and can't wait to see where you go from here.
Yeah, me too.